All right, welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about Predator 2's Ultimate Warrior Predator by NECA. Now, this guy here, the Warrior Predator, because what a great name, not Ultimate Warrior, but Warrior Predator. All right, so this Warrior Predator, he was a student of ancient Yautja fighting traditions. He was actually forged in the Blood Ring. So basically, yeah, from what I understand, from what I read in some of the comics and stuff like that, that they had an alien race that actually came to their planet and forced them to fight one another. And this guy, he is a warrior in hand-to-hand combat and various weapons and all sorts of goodies like that. So he doesn't really use the traditional electronic stuff. So, I mean, this guy here, he's, so the Lost Tribe calls him in when they can't get stuff done. So let's say another hunter who uses their gauntlet, opens it up, hits the computer, and blows up a 3-mile radius. This guy doesn't do that. This is the guy who gets called in after that predator does that. So where he is the last resort for the Lost Tribe of predators, they send this guy in. He is the nastiest of the nastiest. So with all that being said, and that nice little history lesson of this guy, let's get into taking a look at some of the accessories he comes with, because he comes with quite a bit of stuff. Starting off, he comes with 3 extra pairs of hands, 2 of them that are kind of gripping, one that's kind of open, and then he actually has the other open wide pair of hands. So next we have his disc. Now this is the throwing disc that you see, that you can see where he puts his hands in there. It opens up before he throws it. We've all seen it in Predator 2. There's the bottom, nicely painted. You see all the inner workings. Really, really cool. He comes with a second disc, and the second disc is actually closed. It's actually right there on his side, which I will pull out later. I'll show that off, but really cool. Next we have his closed staff. So you have this staff here that was closed before he opens it, and then here's it, the staff as it has been extended. Beautiful paint app that they've done on here with the silver, just giving it some highlights on there to bring out some of the detail. And then you have the same thing here as it's closed up. Has that copper look, that silver look, and yes, that looks like a skull that's actually on there. So that's pretty wild. Next, he has this little piece here that actually plugs into the back, and one of the skulls that he comes with actually plugs into this, and it's supposed to plug into his back. Next, we have his flail, and it's cool. It's just, one big piece of plastic, but the detail in this bad boy is very nice. I like the way they did the spikes, the silver shading on here, the black, got a little bit of copper in there on one of the spikes. Actually on a couple of them. When you turn it, I don't know if it shows up when it hits the light, but yeah, I like the way they did that. Very, very nice. Next we have his plasma caster effect. So it's just a darker blue here, because this is the actual blast, and this is after it's been kind of blasted out. So pretty cool. And this actually just plugs right in onto his plasma caster that's on his shoulder, which I'll show off in a little while. And next we have this beautiful battle axe. I have to say, when they made this, yeah, I mean, this weapon is wild. And look at that. Just the design alone. I like the way they did the blade, to where you can actually see where it's actually sharp on the edge right there. Really cool, very well done. But this is a cool looking battle axe. Next we have the skulls. So we have one without the spine. This one here is the one that plugs in right here. So it has that little peg hole in the bottom. This is the one that plugs into that little port I showed you on the back. But I mean, look at the detail of that skull. It even has a missing tooth down here at the bottom, but that is very nice. Very well done. Very realistic looking, beautiful paintwork. Very nice. And then moving on to the next one where his spine is included. Once again, you can see the teeth, you can see the jaw. It actually looks wet looking the way they did the paint, because they did it a little bit glossy. So when the light actually hits that, it gives it that wet look, like it's just been ripped out of someone's, you know, body. The vertebrae, everything really nicely done. Very well done. Last but not least, out of the accessories is the Warrior's extra head sculpt without the mask, without that biomask on. So he has the open mouth, like he's screaming. You can see his eyes in there. I mean, they did a beautiful job. I mean, even with that high gloss, that little bit of high gloss that they added to the paint, when the light hits it, it gives it that wet look like his skin does when they actually pull off those biomasks to show their faces. And you have the tendrils on the back. Very well painted, nicely done. Okay, so this guy, he's tall. So you can see the top part of his head is kind of cut off because, you know, he's a little bit too tall for my diorama. But let's get into taking a look at this guy. So here we have his head, and it has the stripe markings on his biomask. I mean, you have the mechanics that go through the biomask. Looks like some of the writing on there. I mean, they did a beautiful job with this guy. Then you have his tendrils in the back, and looking, you know, at the sculpt itself. I mean, look at the detail on this shoulder pad coming down to the, you know, his weapon on his shoulder. And this is a different plasma caster that I've seen. I mean, it actually looks like a spine right here. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it actually slides up, and I'll show that during the articulation. And moving down, you have the netting on the body, moving down to his gauntlet where his blades are, his other set of hands, and then the rest of his, you have his other arm where he has the gauntlet here with the computer, the self-destruct computer, or whatever he's going to use it for, which actually opens up, and it has some countdown in there. So you'd really have to take this guy down to really get him to do that, since he doesn't, you know, he's the last resort of them calling him in to take care of their problem. Moving down, you have some more markings here, kind of Aztec looking. Like I said before, this here is his other disc. So right here, you can see it just kind of pops in there. So this is the other disc right here. And you just slide this in, right in here, and pink, that's it, done. And it holds it in there, really nice. See, it doesn't fall out. Netting moving all the way down to the legs, down to the knee pads, you know, all metal looking, which is really cool. Then you get down to the shin guards, and then he doesn't have the typical shoes that the Yautja usually have. He's barefooted, so that's cool too. I mean, but the paint, sculpt, the blue, the blacks, everything on him is just fabulous. All right, so let's get into taking a look at this guy's articulation. So with the head, I mean, you know, it moves side to side, hardly any little head tilt. He can look up that far, which isn't too bad. He can look down that far, which isn't too bad either. And then moving up his plasma caster, which mine's a little stiff on here, but you just kind of just have to move it up, inch it up ever so slowly, because it kind of slides in this little thing right here, and then turn it around. So you get the plasma caster up there and then turn it around, and there you go. I mean, like I said, it's a different looking plasma caster. And then you would take this here, and it plugs in right there. So then you have his blast effect, which is pretty cool. Moving down to his shoulders move out about that far. He has his bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows, which is, you know, they're not really hard, but that's actually nice. So you can actually bring his hands up to his face. So that's a nice bend. You have his forearm swivel. I almost forgot about that. You have his wrist swivel, and then his wrists do bend downward. Now, as far as his gauntlet with his blades here, these blades, if you grab right here, boom, that's as far as they go out, is that much. And then you can push them back in. So they do move out. some, so you can get that look for when he, you know, brings them out. So that's not too bad at all. And he's not as stiff as the way these figures used to be. As far as ab crunch, you don't really get a whole lot of ab crunch out of it. You do get waist movement, and you do get some of this torso movement up here, and it does swivel side to side. As before, as I showed, his gauntlet opens up to reveal his computer, and then this moves around this little piece right here. It's just on a like little nylon rope for his, you know, his little loincloth here that he has. Then you have the armor that goes down the legs, which is soft plastic, so they get out of the way of the movement of the legs. So his legs move forward, they move back. He can do the splits. You know, this kind of gets in the way right here with the disc throw, but you can still get him to do somewhat of a split. More so on this side than you can on the other. Then moving down to the knees, he has double jointed knees, which mine are a little stiff, but not too bad. I mean, that's not bad at all. He has not an upper thigh swivel, but more of a hip socket there for that to move on that ball in there. To me, in my opinion, it'd be cool if they moved that to where you couldn't see it so much, but hey, whatever, it is what it is. Moving down to the shin here above the boot, there is no swivel, but there is ankle articulation, which goes side to side and it goes back and forth. So as far as tilting, that's about as much of an ankle tilt you're going to get. All right, so I'm gonna put this guy into some a couple poses, do a couple of comparisons. Oh my God, if I could speak today. And we will end this review on the Warrior Predator. All right, so let's get into that. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that little presentation that I put together. And listen, you know, I just want to say that with this guy here, what NECA has done, I mean, he has got to be one of the coolest Predators that I've seen in a long, long time. Now, I'm not a big collector of the Predator line, but my son is, and I've gotten him some really cool Predators throughout the years for his collection. And this one here I actually picked up for myself because he's really cool. I like him a lot. I just love the color, love the markings. I love the accessories that he comes with, and the backstory is just awesome. But anyways, this is my review on the Warrior Predator. Actually, it's the Ultimate Warrior Predator by NECA, you know, from Predator 2. So basically what this is from Predator 2. This is one of the Predators that come out at the end of the movie when Danny Glover beats the Predator that he's fighting. He is one of those Predators that are on that ship. All right, so with enough of that being said, let's get into a couple of comparisons. I don't have a whole lot out, and what you've seen in the actual montage that I put together, those are the guys I'm going to be using for comparisons. So starting off, we have the G.I. Joe Classified Bat. Here's how he compares to the G.I. Joe Classified Zarana. And here's how he compares to the G.I. Joe Classified Tiger Force Outback. All right, guys. So, I mean, listen, if you are a Predator fan and you're looking for this guy, you know, yeah, pick him up. He is awesome. And he'll be a great addition to your collection, especially if you have a whole tribe of Predators like my son does. This guy will be a great addition to your collection. So with that being said, this will end this review. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch the video. Please like, subscribe, share, and as always, leave a comment down below. Please hit that notification bell so you never miss out on anything new that I'm putting up. And as always, I'll catch you all on the flippity flip.